the sound. Ringo TV. Ringo TV. Ringo TV.
Welcome to another edition of Black Male Advice TV. I'm your host, Ringo. Make sure you click the like button, subscribe, and support the content. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Black Male Advice TV. I'm your host, Ringo. And on today, we're going to be dealing with another interesting topic. A topic that needs to be addressed right now. Kevin Samuels is one who a lot of you ladies seem to flock to for advice. You believe that he have all the answers. You believe that somehow he was sent to give you some sort of knowledge and understanding on what is needed to help you grow in your walk as a woman, to help you somehow find your way in life. And what you don't understand is that Kevin Samuels is one who is very toxic, one who is very manipulative, one who have used the dysfunction of women to profit, one who will not address the real issues at hand, and he plays games with your mind. What I want you ladies to understand is Kevin Samuels lied to women. That's right. I want you ladies to understand that he lied to women and its relationship to mental abuse. One thing I've been teaching over the years to black men is that you should never lie to a woman. You should always keep it a stack with a woman. Never manipulate, never try to beguile them. Don't lie, because lying to a woman promotes mental abuse. It causes women to doubt. It causes women not to trust. It causes women not to believe in black men. And consequently, when we look at today's situation with black men and black women, we can clearly see that there's a divide because of the lack of trust due to the amount of trauma that black women hold, the amount of abuse they've been through, a lot of toxic relationships, a lot of toxic influences. And Kevin Samuels is one that have been toxic towards black women for a very long time. I've been addressing these issues in multiple videos. Everyone has been ignoring them. All of the Kevin Samuels support teams have ignored the complaints that I have made. They ignored the fact that I've pretty much exposed Kevin Samuels many different times, doing unthinkable things, saying unthinkable things, and no one seems to address these issues. They turn a blind eye to it. They say that I'm a hater. They say I don't know what I'm talking about. But when you look at the majority of women that call in on his show, every single one of them have problems. None of them are married. They constantly seek Kevin Samuels for advice. And no matter how much they go to his broadcasts and his shows and call in, all they get is garbage. And I'm here to tell you, ladies, it is time for you to wake up. Because what I'm going to share with you now is clear-cut proof that Kevin Samuels lied to you. And when a man lied to a woman to her face and act like he didn't say something when he did, it causes women to lack trust in us brothers. This is mental abuse. This is designed to cause a lot of problems. And to be quite frank, this is about the image of our women. Because Kevin Samuels was pretty much called out on his recent show by a woman who claimed she heard him talk about Kevin talking in regards to our women being on the bottom totem pole of the spectrum concerning beauty. And Kevin Samuels denied this in his video. He denied it publicly to his audience. And what I'm going to show you is that he lied. And after you see this lie, ladies, you need to unsubscribe from his platform. You need to share that with all of your female friends and let them know this is toxic. This is something that you should not involve yourself in. Because when a man lies about the things he says on his platform, when a man lies about his true feelings concerning black women, you cannot trust such people. And I am here to tell you that Kevin Samuels lied to you, and you're going to hear that right now. So let's get into this thing. Let me put my disclaimer up on the screen. Let's go.
Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody which doesn't infringe the copyright under 17U.S.C. 107.
Fair use, fair use. Let's get right into the broadcast, people. Let's go.
And after that, Becky. Go ahead, Ray. Unmute yourself. You don't have to be on. Hello?
Okay. So can you hear me better now?
Yeah, how old are you?
I'm 22.
All right. So why do you think I hate black women?
Well, there are several things, but I think maybe the most, if I have to pick one, there's one instance when you were talking about beauty, and you said some things about black women being on the opposite spectrum of beauty, having asymmetrical faces. And there have been, like, to me,
No. Hold on. Stop right there.
Okay.
Where did I say that?
Now, at this point, Kevin Samuels is playing dumb. He's acting like he don't know what's going on. And ladies, I am here to tell you that this man is extremely toxic. This man is dangerous for the community, and it just saddens me that so many black women has flocked to his platform as some sort of guru for relationship advice. And the man really don't have no marriage. He been divorced 2 times. He's not qualified to speak on these topics, but yet he was caught in a video that I exposed a few months ago where he pretty much claimed that black women is on the lowest part of the spectrum when it comes to their features and so forth. Him and another brother named Obsidian was talking about the black woman in a very derogatory way, claiming that she cannot be found throughout the world, where she's very attractive, and that how the average black man always seems to run into a sister who is below a 6, and she's never one who is very highly attractive. And it's only rare that we see black women that are truly exceptionally beautiful. And they went on to talk about facial features and beauty in regards to the rank. Kevin Samuels was also talking about how he used a ranking system with women. We can see this on his broadcast when he talks about how he asks women to rate themselves from a 1 through 10, but they can't pick a 7. All of these things are facts. Let's move on so we can hear more details about this.
Yeah, so it was a show a few months back, maybe 4 or 5.
I know the show you're talking
months.
about.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And you were talking about beauty, and you were talking about, it's like a philosophical concept of whether beauty is subjective or objective, and that beauty can be like mathematical.
It is.
It's based on symmetry.
It is.
And you said that black women, you didn't specify a single black woman. You said the blanket term black women are on the opposite spectrum of beauty, and that we have asymmetrical faces.
No, I did not. Black women. I would never say black women's faces don't map along the Fibonacci sequence. That is outright that is wrong.
Men look at what they, and that's the thing. They're in the same.
At this point in the video, ladies and gentlemen, I am about to prove through a previous video that I did a live show where I talked about these particular issues already. As you can see on the screen, we have Kevin Samuels when he was at 370,000 subscribers. We have another brother named Obsidian, which is his sidekick, and we have somebody else. They were in a show together, and they were talking about these particular issues. Let's listen into that broadcast and find out what they had to say.
Beauty is subjective. That's another fallacy. Beauty is not subjective.
Notice they're talking about beauty. Let's pay attention, ladies and gentlemen, to what words are. They're talking about beauty. Beauty. That's what they're talking about. Beauty. Let's go.
That's why we have the golden ratio, the Fibonacci equation. You can look at facial symmetry and see that beautiful people, you can map their facial structure, and it goes to a mathematical calculation.
Oh yeah.
Beauty is universal. And the thing is, we're talking about black women. They are on the opposite end of the spectrum on all ranks. Beauty is universal. And the thing is, we're talking about black women.
Notice he said we're talking about black women and we're talking about beauty. Keep that in mind, ladies.
They are on the opposite end of the spectrum on all ranks.
Wow. On all ranks, Kevin Samuels said. Ow.
Beauty is universal. And the thing is, we're talking about black women. They are on the opposite end of the spectrum on all ranks. What? They're on the opposite end of the spectrum on all ranks.
Wow.
They're on the opposite end of the spectrum on all ranks.
And that is something that has been running across the internet. No, ma'am. The Fibonacci sequence, the golden, no. I know what I said. Because it is mathematical. It is mathematical. There is a subjective and an objective standard of beauty. The objective standard of beauty is the Fibonacci sequence. This is why you get children who don't even have language, or even pets, animals who respond to symmetrical faces. Human beings have evolved to like a symmetrical mapping. This is why we like spiral patterns in nature.
All of that nonsense he's talking really is just a bunch of BS. I'm just keeping it 1,000 with you. I don't know why he's dancing, but the woman is asking him specific points and he's just dancing around the situation rather than just getting to the point. And it's sad that this man is just lying right to the public as if though he didn't have these things to say regarding black women. And what's so funny is he titled his show, I think something along the lines of at Kevin Samuels, hate black women, or do he hate black women? I guess he's trying to address this to prove or do a lot of damage control, because word on the street is that he hate black women. And when a man would come into the public and say that our women is on the far end of the spectrum and put it out there like that, that's to degrade our women completely. And that's sad. It's really sad that he did that. And also Obsidian is also responsible because that's his sidekick. And these men pretty much need to be held accountable for the fact that they're causing mental illness in our women by their much degrading of them and making them have such a poor self-image of themselves by constantly making them feel like they're not attractive, not beautiful, not pretty. This is abuse. This is abuse. Let's go.
Staircases, flowers. We have evolved to like the Fibonacci sequence. But I would never say that there is a continent on this earth that there are women whose faces don't map along to that sequence. That is anthropologically false.
Facial symmetry, even to the way to black women are starting to look more masculine. And
He just said black women are starting to look more masculine. Now, ladies, is that someone who have your best interests at heart? Is that someone who believe that you are highly attractive, greater than a 6, women that are sought after by the majority of black men? Not at all. He said that black women are looking more masculine. So we're dealing with the beauty of women, and he's comparing it to women that are non-black. This is sad, ladies and gentlemen, and this caused mental illness in our women where they have a poor self-image of themselves. And this is why majority of our sisters think that they're unattractive, and they do all of this cosmetic surgery and other things to their bodies because they're trying to please men. They do things to their hair, they do things to their body, their breasts, and so forth, because they feel very insecure in their bodies. And this is because of the mental abuse that they endure from black men. Kevin Samuels is very toxic. He lied to the public, and he need to be held accountable.
This when you start putting on additional makeup and, weave and all this other kind of stuff to where guys are just saying, damn, and you're not even going to the gym to try to keep yourself in shape and you don't have a good attitude?
Wow.
I would rather not.
Okay. Well, then maybe you can clarify what you meant when you said we're on the opposite spectrum of beauty.
I didn't say you're on the opposite spectrum of beauty. I didn't say you're on the opposite spectrum of beauty.
Notice how he's fumbling. Notice she said, can you clarify why you said what you said? He's like, I didn't say that you're on the opposite spectrum of beauty. Ladies and gentlemen, you just heard what he said. You heard what he said. So why is he acting like he didn't say that? He want you to believe he didn't say something when I just showed you what he said. This is crazy. You can't make this stuff up, people.
Beauty.
And notice the grin on his face. He's going to sit there and try to lie with a straight face. And that's why when you see him on camera, he's so far away, because he don't want you to see the eye contact. That's why I zoomed into the video so close, so that you can get a clear image of his facial expressions, so you could see the details of his facial expression, the eye contact, to know when someone is lying to you.
I wouldn't say that.
So like,
I mean, if you understand even where, if
wrong.
you even understand where no, I think you guys have been you guys have been playing a long game of telephone. If you even understand where the first human skeleton was found, well, what continent was that on?
Africa, as far as we know.
Yeah. Was it Lucy or Anne? Yes. Where's the cradle of civilization? The world comes from that continent.
At this point, he's trying to make it seem like he's for Africa and that he would never do any such thing to offend black women, because he have to understand at this point he have a large following, 1 million and so subscribers. The last thing you want to do is get black women to turn against you. That's the last thing you would want to do. So at this point, he's trying to make it seem like, all civilization started in Africa. So why would I uphold some European standard and place our women on the bottom of the totem pole when that is exactly what he did? And see, he did this while he was hanging out with his boys on another platform. This was done very intentionally to show brothers that these guys are with them with this so-called red pill mindset within the manosphere, and they were spewing this poison, and a lot of the brothers was cheering them on. And these are the very same black men that are creating single mothers and baby mamas out here. They degrade our women, they say they're unattractive, but these very same men are trying to lay up with them, and then they're not even being held responsible for the fact that they don't even take care of their babies. This is all abusive towards our women. This is all in line with mental abuse on why our women have so much trust issues with black men. Let's go.
So would you make room for the fact that maybe did you hear me say black women on the opposite spectrum of the opposite end of the beauty spectrum?
Yes, I did.
Bullshit.
I watched the video myself.
Bullshit.
Wow, wow.
And I've heard it played time and time again.
He's lying.
Bullshit. I would never say something as reckless as that. I would never say something as reckless as that. I would never say something as reckless as that.
See, beauty is not subjective. That's
No,
why
it's
we
not.
have,
It's
that's why we
objective,
have
brother.
that's why we have the golden ratio, the Fibonacci
right.
equation.
That's right.
You can look at
That's
facial
right.
symmetry and see that
That's right.
beautiful people, you can map their facial structure, and it goes to a mathematical calculation.
Oh yeah.
Beauty is universal. And the
Yep.
thing is, we're talking about black women. They are on the opposite end of the spectrum on all ranks.
Wow,
Beauty is
wow.
universal. And the
Yep.
thing is, we're talking about black women. They are on the opposite end of the spectrum on all ranks.
Can't make this up,
Beauty
people.
is universal. And the
Yep.
thing is, we're talking about black women. They are on the opposite end of the spectrum.
Proof is in the pudding,
on
people.
All ranks.
Wow.
They're on the opposite end of the spectrum on all ranks.
Wow.
They're on the opposite
Wow.
end of the spectrum.
He lied, ladies.
On all ranks.
He lied. He lied.
I don't know. I guess I can
I do
go
know.
listen to it again.
I do know. I do know because every time I hear somebody say this, and then people ask and pull up the clip, you never pull up.
I just pulled up the clip, and you clearly lied. You lied on your platform, and you lied to these ladies. And you're not to be trusted. Sisters, this is the kind of man that is toxic. Don't let a large following make you think that his words hold more weight than mine. Because I just showed you that he lied. And see, these are just like these pastors in these churches. You believe anything they say because they have a mega church. And you think because they have a mega church and they got money in their pocket that somehow they cannot lie to you.
The show,
So, was
ma'am,
there
it's
something?
just not.
Mhm.
Ma'am, no, it's wrong. That's why I did the show. It's simply wrong.
Okay.
Every
So was there
continent, there's
something-
and I'm gonna say it again. The Fibonacci sequence is a human evolutionary trait. There is a subjective and an objective quality to beauty. And if you look at where the recorded human beings originated from, it's the continent of Africa. So what you're basically asking me to say is humans evolved differently in Africa? No, you're just wrong.
He's actually going to sit here and try to make the sister feel like she's wrong when he is the one who is wrong.
But see, you've been listening to this stuff for so long and listen to people parrot this stuff for so long to where it's hard for you to hear it out of my mouth. You're like, well, I know I heard that. I'm telling you, I wouldn't say anything that reckless. I'm telling you, I wouldn't say anything that reckless.
See, beauty is not subjective. That's
No,
why
it's
we
not. It's objective, brother.
that's why we have the golden ratio, the Fibonacci
right.
equation.
That's right.
You can look at
That's
facial
right.
symmetry and see that
That's right.
beautiful people, you can map their facial structure, and it goes to a mathematical calculation.
Notice he's talking about what defines beautiful people. He's talking about beauty. And then he threw black women in there and said they're on the opposite end of the spectrum. Listen.
Oh yeah.
Beauty is universal. And the
Yep.
thing is, we're talking about black women. They are on the opposite end of the spectrum on all ranks.
Wow.
Beauty is universal. And the
Yep.
thing is, we're talking about black women. They are on the opposite end of the spectrum on all ranks.
Wow. You can't make this up, people.
Beauty is universal. And the
Yep.
thing is, we're talking about black women. They are on the opposite end of the spectrum on all ranks.
On all ranks, which I mean in every area concerning beauty. He said black women are on the opposite end of the spectrum, which means he uplifted all other nationalities of women, put them on a pedestal, while putting our black women down.
They're on the opposite end of the spectrum on all ranks.
Wow.
They're on the opposite end of the spectrum on all ranks.
All.
I understand.
Opposite end of a beauty spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
No.
He lied, man. Wow. He
The
lied.
spectrum I talk about is Fibonacci sequence.
Yeah. So I understand. So was there something, because you're saying we're just playing up the smaller, like 5-minute clip. Was there something in the like full length of the show that would explain
Nope.
that?
Ma'am.
Notice she asking, would there be something in the full length of the show that would pretty much explain what you're saying in more detail? And he's saying, nope. Then what's the point? This doesn't make any sense.
I can't explain why people decide to misuse what I say.
Nobody misused what you said. You said what you said and you were caught. Do you understand me? You said what you said and you were caught. You degraded our women. You put them down. You said they're on the opposite end of the spectrum in all ranks. You said that, and you were talking about beauty. So you're upholding Caucasian women, Asian women, and all other foreign women on a high pedestal while degrading your own women. You said that. So own up to it.
People looked at a video that said, when I said the woman was average at best, people tried to use something where I talked about a topic and they tried to make it about abuse. Are you seriously trying to ask me why people do what they do? I'm telling you I didn't say it, and there's no reason to say it.
I understand.
Bottom line, there's no, if you don't know, you want to believe it. How about that?
I don't want to believe it.
Well, then I'm telling you I didn't say it.
He's still here denying what he said. He's still denying what he clearly said.
Ma'am.
And I've been a supporter, but after hearing the clip.
Ma'am, you hear a clip. The show. Do you not? I'm okay. Due respect, ma'am. How old are you?
I'm 22.
What does her age have to do with anything here? See, ladies, this is more abuse. What does him asking her age have to do with anything concerning this matter?
You know, I could clip your life up and make you sound any kind of way I want to.
Notice what he's trying to do. He's using manipulative tactics here by claiming that he can clip her life into different pieces and make her sound like she said something that she didn't say. You know what he's essentially saying here, ladies and gentlemen? He's saying that people like me put together videos to make it seem like he said something when he clearly said it in the video. You can't make this stuff up, people. You can't make this up. This is manipulative, deceptive, and abusive towards our women.
Yeah, I understand that.
Okay, well then if that's the case, all right, I've addressed it several times. I said no, ma'am, it's not there. I wouldn't say anything that reckless. And if I did say something along the line of a beauty spectrum, it's in context. And see, the funny thing about my show is a long form show. Oftentimes I will make a point, connect to another point that may be 5, 10, 16, even 36 minutes down the track.
Now, if you can recall a few moments back, she asked him, is there another section in the video that you kind of explained and broke it down for it to make sense? And he said no. Now he's trying to use what she said by saying that, well, when he make videos and make a point, sometimes 30 minutes down the road, he may touch back on that to clarify what it is. Do you see the manipulative tactics taking place right here?
But people today have such a short attention span. If you click in, just like this woman earlier clicked in, talking about Well, your tone and you.
The topic is not about your tone or anything that have to do with that woman. Stick to the topic and stop dancing.
Shouldn't do this, do that. And I said, did you listen to my entire show where I said I'm a
We listened to you just now, and you clearly said that our women is on the opposite end of the spectrum in all ranks concerning beauty. That's what you said. There's no way around it.
consultant and a coach. I'm not a therapist or a consultant. I mean, I'm not a therapist or somebody to collar your feelings. So you don't have a license? I address everything. Ma'am, outright, I don't say that. That would basically mean me saying that people from the continent of Africa, black women with dark skin, don't have beautiful features.
That's exactly what he said when he said that our women is on the opposite end of the spectrum in all ranks. To say in all ranks, man. So you're telling me that black women don't win at all in no area? That's what he said, ladies. And now he's trying to save face and do damage control by trying to claim that, you're trying to say that I would suggest that there's no beautiful women that come out of Africa. Are you trying to say that? Of course there's beautiful women that come out of Africa. Now he's trying to backpedal now. But that's not what he was saying when he was on that broadcast with those other men. He basically said that our women is on the pretty much the bottom totem pole, man. Like they're just being outdone and they lose in all ranks. That's what your boy Kevin Samuel said, the one who you hold up as your godfather, the one that you ladies flock to for advice. You believe that he is the key, the answer to everything you need. You don't listen to men like me. You think that I'm just, a hater. I don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm a family man. Kevin Samuels don't have no wife. He ain't taking care of no kids. The man cannot give you advice about life issues because he don't got no results. None. And he don't even look at you women as beautiful. And yet you listening to him. That's insanity right there. You're listening to men that don't even think that you're attractive women. That's sad, man. Very, very sad.
That just belies observable fact. Some of the most gorgeous supermodels come from the continent of Africa, dark skin. It's a Fibonacci sequence.
All he's doing here is damage control, saving face, trying to appease to black women to make them feel like he find them attractive when he really don't. Do you understand me? Let's go.
It's a spiral. So no.
Okay.
Now, here's the one thing I will say. In this country, a lot of our women seem to have a problem with this, what they call white European or European ethnocentric standard of beauty. And that's a battle that you ladies got to fight amongst yourselves. Men recognize beauty.
He was talking about beauty when he was talking about those men claiming that you sisters are literally on the opposite end of the spectrum in all ranks. So what he's about to say here, he's trying to make it seem like he was talking about something else. Ladies, stop letting men like this deceive you and manipulate you.
What men are more drawn to more than anything else is facial symmetry and body weight.
That's what he was talking about in the clip. And he made it very clear that our women is on the opposite end of the spectrum in all ranks, which mean all the other ethnic groups of women, they have better features, better facial features, better looking bodies, better attitudes, everything. To say in all ranks mean in all areas. Stop capping.
Now, on the opposite end of a spectrum, you are larger than you should be.
So on the opposite end of the spectrum, he's still comparing you to European women, Asian women, and so forth by claiming that our women are larger. So he's basically saying that black women, essentially, are obese and larger than all other ethnic groups of women combined. He is still insulting you. He is still being abusive towards you and degrading you as a people. Let's go.
You are out of shape on that spectrum.
So he's saying that all of our women are all out of shape compared to all ethnic groups? Is he kidding? Really?
Are out of shape. But facially, no.
So hold up. You're saying that they're out of shape, but now you're saying that they're not facially unattractive? This guy is literally contradicting himself, people. He is contradicting himself. So so you're saying that facially our women are highly attractive, but yet you're the same one who rate women average at best. And even if you coerced the woman and manipulated her into agreeing with you, you don't be rating none of these women high. You know what I'm saying? So everything is about body. So it's not about face. So why do you talk about fresh out of the shower with no makeup on, so and so forth, if it's just about, their bodily features? This guy is a walking contradiction. And this is why people like me is a great threat to him, because I'm one who is very logical, and this guy is illogical. He's not making no sense, and he's a walking contradiction, and he's a manipulative man who constantly belittle and degrade our women, causing them mental illness where they look at themselves and have very self-image issues to the point where they're very insecure about how they look because of abusive men like him who constantly talk about their weight, constantly talk about their facial features, and he never have anything good to say.
That's why I say this whole Eurocentric standard of beauty is a woman's argument. It's some shit y'all do, just right along with colorism.
He's blaming all of that on you ladies when he was the one using the white standard of beauty against you.
Okay. So what would you recommend? Like, should we go and watch the full show? Maybe there'll be some context in there.
Ma'am, I'm trying to do my best, man, but I've said it. There are thousands of hours of content. I am not responsible.
Right. But do you think saying one thing can ruin
Notice how he don't want her to speak. He's not letting her talk. Now he's getting upset. All of that is abusive towards women.
No, I don't.
Something can seem kind of unforgivable and very hurtful.
I don't give a shit. Then leave. Due respect, ma'am. That's why I said I wish you guys lived this standard. I hope you live that way, to where what you say today, I spoke about this at the beginning. You people act like what you say today, if you were being recorded, everything you said from here on through eternity, and people want to hold you accountable to something you said 2 years ago in the middle of a stream where you were talking to this and they misheard that. If that's the standard and it's unforgivable, then screw you. I don't need to be forgiven. That is a standard beyond.
Do you see the anger? He already know he's wrong, people. He know he's wrong. And now he's being abusive towards the lady for asking him questions. You can't make this up.
The only person who can live up to that is perfection. And I'm not trying to be perfect. You're looking for shit to be wrong at that point.
He said he's not trying to be perfect, but later on in the video, you're going to hear him rate himself a 9. That's right. Kevin Samuels believed that he is a 9 on a rating scale. Wow. Let's go.
And I don't want to be with people who are looking for stuff to be wrong. You're looking to be offended, you'll find something to find offensive. Good. Be offended. Go. I'll stay over here with the people who are trying to win.
See that, people?
I mean that shit.
Abuse.
Because we love to play gotcha in the black community.
How many of you ladies are in relationships with abusive men just like this that verbally abuse you, try to manipulate you, try to make you feel like you're crazy, like what you heard you didn't hear? This is what he's doing.
Everybody else can make mistakes. Everybody else can say this, evolve, such and such.
He's admitting at this point that he is wrong and he know what he said, but he's trying to make, cool it down by saying like, why are y'all making a big deal out of it? Why don't y'all just let it go and let me move on? Why are y'all trying to hold me accountable? Wow. Can't make this up.
So forth. Black people, you got to be we are stuck in high school. That's how you were. That dude was here, but he trying to be such and so forth. He wasn't anyway in high school. Stay stuck. You can't be stuck behind and talk about catching up and evolving. I said I didn't say it. I never would say some silly shit like that. It doesn't make mathematical sense. It doesn't make logical sense.
Wow.
I'm not going to be responsible for what somebody's, well, I heard a clip.
Wow.
Okay.
Do you see the facial expression, people? Look at the eyes. Look at his facial posture. That is what you call a liar. You cannot believe men like that, ladies. Ladies, turn from people like Kevin Samuels. Turn from men like that. They're abusive. They're cantankerous. They're argumentative. They're very wicked. They never hold themselves responsible for their actions. You cannot trust people like that. He don't like our women. He was clearly caught, and his expressions on his face clearly says it. He think he's above reproach. He think that no one could criticize him. He think that no one can hold him accountable because he feel he's on the top of the mountain. He got 1 million subscribers. He got money in his pocket. Therefore, he is always right. Not on my watch. You are wrong, sir. You are wrong.
Now keep believing if you want to.
The average rank and file blue collar brother
Make sure you listen to the rest of this, people. Listen carefully.
on the block, okay, in urban Black America. Do you realize it's for him to see a woman that's a +6 is like a once or twice a year event? Do you realize that? For him to actually see it in his actual line of sight, a woman that's over a 6, that's like he sees that like once or twice a year, man.
He's basically saying that as men, we hardly ever get to see our women as a 6 and above, ever. And if we do, it's probably like twice a year. So basically he's saying that our women are not even attractive. But let's listen to him. Let's listen to what he has to say. Now, keep in mind, ladies, this is the guy that Kevin Samuels promoted as the one who pretty much influenced him, recognized his talent, one who he claimed is important. This is the guy here. Let's hear him.
Really?
Yes.
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 I believe it 100%.
Kevin Samuels said he believed that 100% too. Notice that, people. Kevin Samuels agreed with Obsidian 100%, which means everything Obsidian said regarding Black women, that as us, as men, we don't get to see beautiful Black women that are above a 6. Probably twice a year, we would probably see 1 or 2. But we really don't get to see them because in their mind, they don't exist. Because these men are comparing our women to women of the other nations. So it's all about beauty at this point. Facial symmetry. This is what they're talking about. Kevin lied to you, ladies, and you need to hold him accountable and make videos responding to issues like this so that he can be addressed. Let's go. So Kevin Samuels co-signed with City Simp and pretty much agree that there really aren't any beautiful Black women. And this is the same guy that is trying to take your dress size and find out how much you weigh. Same guy that you call on his show only to get ridiculed. This is why he always asks you to rate yourself, because he know good and well that none of you are 8, 9, and 10 because of this. But it gets worse. It gets real bad.
Yes. If you go in inner city Philadelphia, inner city Chicago, inner city Newark, New Jersey, for that matter, you go in those places where Donnie Glover bases his show in Atlanta. You don't see broads that's a 6 and above on a regular in those places, New Orleans and all that. You're lucky if you can find just straight up 5s.
Wow.
Miami too.
Wow.
South Beach.
You're lucky. You're very Miami-Dade. You're very lucky if you can find a woman that's a 6 and above.
Notice how they just constantly belittling and degrading Black women, claiming that you can't even find a woman that's above this particular standard that they're holding up. This is what these men are saying about our women. Let's go.
You see women in those places. You see a woman that's over a 6 and above. That's a rare event.
Wow.
That's the reason why brothers don't know how to
I
act when
think
they see some shit
once
like
you
that.
get above, I think when you start getting above 6 and 7 and stuff like that, you do have to take opinion into. I just believe that.
Let me just say one thing. There is no
I just
7.
think so. I mean, unless we don't have any real definitive, this makes a dime, this makes a 9, this makes a 8. We don't. I mean,
You know what? Let me put it to you this way.
and every
You know
man
what?
will disagree with that.
I'll tell you what we do. I'll tell you what. This is something all brothers here listening
You said
to.
twice a year?
Yeah.
I don't recall walking down the street and only seeing beautiful sisters twice a year. I mean, practically every day when I walk outside, I always see some fine-ass sisters. I don't know what he's talking about, but there are a lot of beautiful sisters out here. You know, the other day I was riding through Prospect Park and I saw this slim sister looking real good. Had a brother thinking about all sorts of things. You know, I was riding through and I was like, damn. Had a brother wanting to give his pension away. Had a brother wanting to give his life to Christ. I was looking at her from head to toe like, Lord. And you know, it was sunny that day too, and she had pretty feet too. I was like, damn. She was looking real good. So I don't know what these brothers are talking about, that you only get to see women that are a 6 and above only twice a year. That don't make no sense.
Here in Philadelphia, if you're in North Philly, West Philly, Southwest Philly, believe me, finding a chick that's a 6 and above, that's like a year or bi-year event. The usual situation is 3s, 4s, maybe a 5.
Damn.
You know what?
Yes.
One thing that I do when I sit down,
You didn't hear when Amber Rose was talking about this? Amber Rose talked about this. She's from Philly too.
Amber
She's from
Rose
South Philly.
ass is
She talked about this. She said
Bro,
Philly ain't got no
Amber
pretty
Rose
bras
full of
here.
shit. You doing a slut walk? Fuck Amber
Okay,
Rose.
can you guys
Go
hear me?
ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
When I sit down and consult with a group of women, one of the first things I do is I ask everyone to rank themselves on a scale of 1 to 10, and you cannot use 7.
He said anytime he get with women, he asks them to rate themselves from 1 to 10, but you can't use a 7. Can't use a 7. Now, all the ladies in the clouds, Kevin Samuels is going to rate himself. Are you ready to hear what he got to say? This is going to be very interesting. Let's go.
There is no 7. What? It's either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, or 10. And you know what the majority of women rank themselves as?
Probably 8. Yeah.
8. And you know what the majority of the women are? 6. The average is a 6, and that's being professionally nice. Women look at themselves and see and will rank themselves higher than they actually rank themselves. Ask men the same question. Men rank themselves to about around 5.
Now, he just said men would rate themselves around 5. Let's see what Kevin Samuels will rate himself, shall we? Let's listen.
5.5 if I actually aggregated. Men look at themselves and see their problem areas. Women look at themselves and see what they want to see. So,
Where would you rank yourself, Kevin?
I rank myself a 9. So,
Where would you rank yourself, Kevin?
I rank myself a 9. So,
Where would you rank yourself, Kevin?
I rank myself a 9.
This clown said that he rate himself a 9. But yet, he'll tell other women that they're average at best. They're a 5. This 50-something-year-old man rates himself a 9. But yet when he look at you sisters, he want to say that the only time brothers ever get to see beautiful black women is probably twice a year. But he rate himself a 9. I mean, a man shouldn't even be rating himself like that. That's like feminine. But he rates himself a 9. Damn near perfect. You be the judge of that, sisters.
Okay.
Men look at what they, and that's the thing. You can, they're, and they're saying, beauty is subjective. That's another fallacy. Beauty is not subjective. That's
No,
why
it's not. It's
that's why we
objective,
have
brother.
that's why we have the golden ratio, the Fibonacci
right.
equation.
That's right.
You can look at
That's
facial
right.
symmetry and see that
That's right.
beautiful people, you can map their facial structure, and it goes to a mathematical calculation.
Oh yeah.
Beauty is universal. And the thing is, we're talking about Black women. They are on the opposite end of the spectrum on all ranks. Beauty is universal. And the thing is, we're talking about Black women. They are on the opposite end of the spectrum on all ranks.
Wow.
Beauty is universal. And the thing is, we're talking about Black women. They are on the opposite end of the spectrum on all ranks.
What?
They're on the opposite end of the spectrum on all ranks.
Wow.
They're on the opposite end of the spectrum on all ranks.
Facial symmetry, even to the way to Black women are starting to look more masculine. And this one, you start putting on additional makeup and weave and all this other kind of stuff, to where guys are just saying, damn, and you're not even going to the gym to try to keep yourself in shape, and you don't have a good attitude. I would rather not.
Do you see, ladies? This man believed that all Black women are inherently ugly, unattractive. Your Kevin Samuels said that. Not me. Your godfather said that you are on the opposite end of what beauty is. And you are literally on the opposite end on all ranks, which means you're nowhere near what we would consider the standard of what beauty is supposed to be. And they're basing it off of some calculation of some nonsense. This is how they feel about Black women. This is what Kevin Samuels feel about you sisters that support him. This is how Obsidian believe about you sisters, the daughters of Zion. They believe that our women are unattractive. That's what they believe. But yet they have a show where they appear as if though he's trying to help Black women. So all the women that are calling in on the show, he wants you to believe that he's trying to hook y'all all up to get a high value man, while knowing that in his heart, he believes that none of you are even a 6 and above. You're just average at best. That is why he said what he said to the lady in the infamous video that went viral, which really didn't go viral. Because when you really think about those videos that end up on World Star, let me put you onto the game. It's an investment. These people pay World Star to host the videos. Do your research, people. A lot of these videos that end up on World Star are not there because they just appear there because somebody just went over to World Star and just uploaded the video. You gotta pay World Star over 10 grand, 10 stacks, and they'll upload that video. And because of the reach that World Star have, it will go viral. You're paying for it. World Star originally started off as a site for hip hop to promote artists, and it slowly transferred into just posting anything. Some stuff get posted for whatever reason, but when it comes to you wanting a particular video to be published for the purpose of helping your platform grow to go viral, you gotta pay World Star stacks in order for that video to go viral. So I wouldn't even be surprised if Kevin Samuels invested his own money to pay World Star to host that video, to further promote his platform. I'm not dumb. I got eyes and I can see. You understand? That is what went down. These men look at our women as if though they're of no value. This is what they're teaching our women. That's why every single time they try to make our women feel bad based on how they look. Oh, you're too fat, or you got too much weight, or what's your dress size, and all of this nonsense. Got our sisters leaving the phone calls insecure, feeling bad about themselves. Ain't no telling how many of our sisters are literally losing their mind once they leave those shows and they're traumatized. That's what's going on, people. Shout out to True Love for the super chat, says, they are the worst. We as black women, beauty comes natural. Other races get surgery. Thank you, Ringo, for standing up for us. Appreciate your support. Let me see. Shout out to Regulus, Ahaya, Bath Cole, and Garden of Eden. Appreciate your support joining Team Ringo and the chat. Let me see what else we got. Yeah, let's get right back into this, people. Let's go.
So the reputation is well deserved.
Yeah, I agree with Kevin. You know, this is his idea.
He just said he agreed with Kevin. Cosign.
And what's the name? Issa Rae tried to suggest that somehow this stuff was being said about black women just coming out of nowhere. That's bullshit. It ain't just coming out of nowhere, man. This is stuff that's based on the actions of a lot of black women themselves. And they don't want to address it. I mean, now, hey, look, the United States, the great thing about the United States is you got the right to be a complete loser if you want to be. If you want to be a loser, you can do that. And nobody will bother you. You try to be a loser in Singapore, see what happens to you, man. You can't just lie on the ground in Singapore.
So when the Asian magazine said that black women are ugly, you guys co-signed that, right?
I didn't see that in Asian magazine, but I will tell you this.
Some years
Notice how Kevin Samuels just dodged the question. See, the truth of the matter is they do co-sign it because they're co-signing it with how they respond next. Learn to listen to what people don't say. You know what I mean? Sometimes a person can speak to you and they're saying something without saying it. You know what I mean? You got to peep what they're not saying. They just brought up this whole thing about Asians and how they talk to their family, and they're about to expose themselves even further. And there is also an audio clip that I meant to add to this video, but it was off my mind at the time, where Kevin Samuels literally said that he believed in an afterlife that he was a Caucasian man or an Asian man. There's another brother on YouTube. I forgot his name. I would shout him out just to give him his recognition, but it's something, the poor something. I can't remember his name, but he have the video where Kevin Samuels said that he believed that he, in an afterlife, he was an Asian man or a Caucasian man. So this is a guy that have a crisis going on within himself where he don't even feel that he's a black man. And this is why there's so much hate and so much evil that he have towards our women, trying to make them feel like they're less than, talking about how they're literally unattractive. I mean, every time I walk outside, I always come across beautiful sisters. And see, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. What I may see in a sister, you may not see. I could look at a sister and you might think she's a 4, but to me, she's an 8 because she have exactly what I like. You know what I mean? So I don't know what they're talking about, but let's listen to some more to find out what's going on. Shout out to Cool Gent for the super chat. Appreciate your support. He said, salute Ringo, continue to call out these fake alpha dudes. Shout out to Ahaya, Bath, Cole, Garden of Eden. Said, thank you, son of the royal father, which art in heaven. Ringo, appreciate that. Appreciate that. Thanks for your support. Yep. All right, let's continue on. Let's go.
So I see you talked about a Asian magazine that said black women are ugly.
I didn't read
it. Google it. You'll see it.
I've done martial arts for 30 years. My seafood, I would tell you one thing about the Chinese. They tell their daughters straight up,
you got that right.
You ugly.
You got that right. Yeah.
Notice how both of them was so hyped about that the Asians would tell their daughters, "You're ugly," and they were so happy to say that. Because that's how they feel about our women. That's how they feel. And his sidekick co-signing him at the same time. Listen again. Keep listening.
Often.
He ain't lying about that, because I know Asian guys like that too.
Real with their women.
Oh,
All right.
yeah. Oh yeah, they'll tell you. I'm talking about Asian mothers. I'm not talking about the brothers. Asian mothers will tell their daughters, "You can't compete for that kind of man. He's out of your league. You can't do that. You're not good looking enough."
So if you say it was in a magazine, that's not hard to figure, because their culture is one where they're actually real. So here's the thing: women who aren't as beautiful, they know they can't come in with attitude. They're much friendly. And here's the funny thing:
I hear you, bro. I just disagree. I just disagree. But I do agree with you when it talks about symmetry. I actually heard that before.
Okay.
When it comes to nose and lip and all that different stuff, and the ratio and the symmetry of the face and stuff like that, things that are definitively black, historically, scientifically, science has not been favorable to black people. Like, for example, the IQ situation.
At least I can say that brother have some sense. Listening to these clowns, he recognized that science as well as society have not been favorable towards our women and towards black people as a whole. Remember, they didn't even consider us humans in their record books. They didn't even consider black people to be like fully human. This is in their record books. So for them to even be trying to use what the powers that be put out there, it's ridiculous, man.
That it really is useless. It's a useless argument in my mind, because
the same studies
hold on,
bear out that black men are the most masculine of men.
It's interesting how he would say there's a study that shows that black men are the most masculine of men, but at the same time, they're saying that black women are the most unattractive out of all ethnic groups of women. Do you see does that make any sense? So they crown themselves as the most masculine, but yet when we look at Kevin Samuels, he's not even masculine. I mean, am I the only one seeing this? What is going on here? So black men are the most masculine, but most of our black men literally want to be women. And at the same time, they're saying that our women are unattractive. That the only time us brothers see a beautiful black woman is probably twice a year. Every single day I walk these streets, I constantly see fine sisters. And I'm not even looking for no super beautiful whatever. A sister could just have a certain way she look and she just look good. So I don't know what they talking about. They're measuring our women based off of the white standard of beauty. I hope everybody heard everything very clear as day. That Kevin Samuels lied. Made it very clear. He lied to the people. He said he didn't say something when he clearly did. My prayer and hope is that the majority of you sisters that have been affected by the things Kevin Samuels said regarding your image, your beauty, your body, my hope is that it don't go to heart and cause you to have poor self-image, low self-esteem, because a lot of times that type of abuse can be very, very difficult. You find yourself depressed because you're constantly trying to figure out how you can improve, but to know that so many black men are on social media degrading you and bashing you concerning these issues, it can be very, very troubling. I mean, to really think that this guy have a platform with over 1 million subscribers and he lied to all of them, but yet we clearly seen in the video that he said what he said. It's very alarming and it's troubling. And this is very, very abusive, and he's a toxic individual. And I suggest that all of you ladies share this content with other sisters and let them know that Kevin Samuels lied. He don't want people to know that he said it. He don't want women to know that he feel this way. You know what I mean? This is how these men in the so-called black manosphere feel about our women. And it's sad. It's really sad that none of these brothers are standing up to fight against this evil. Instead, they turn a blind eye to it and they cheer him on. Well, I'm not. So that being said, I'm going to sign out. I'm going to get on out of here. Got to head on out to work. And it is what it is. It's about 7 a.m. And I am pretty much done. I'll catch y'all in the next stream. If you're catching this on the playback during the premiere, it'll probably say it's 8 o'clock. I don't know what time it'll be because I have to upload this and then wait for it to process and then publish it on YouTube. So by the time I do all of that, I'm already at work. So hope everybody enjoyed the show. Catch you on the next stream. We're going to continue more topics along the lines of abuse, mental abuse, different issues concerning post-traumatic stress disorder, and many other issues that affect our women due to the problems that they get with men. And we're going to hold everybody accountable. We're going to deal with these topics the way they need to be dealt with. Now, make sure you subscribe to the channel because this is the only channel on YouTube that'll give you quality content that deals with real issues. No sugar cane, no candy bars, and none of that nonsense. We give you the truth raw and uncut. So if you like my content and you would like to support financially, you can do so via Cash App, $ Ringo TV Raw, or via PayPal at paypal.me/Ringo TV Raw. Also join me on Patreon for exclusive content not seen on YouTube at patreon.com/blackmailadvicetv. Follow me on Instagram at Ringo TV Raw. I'll catch you all in the next video. I'm out. Peace.
If you like our content, consider supporting via Cash App at $ Ringo TV Raw. Become a patron on patreon.com for exclusive video content not shown on YouTube. You could also support through PayPal at paypal.me/Ringo TV Raw. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the bell to be notified of new content. Follow me on Instagram at Ringo TV Raw.
This is Blackmail Advice TV, the only channel on YouTube bringing you the truth 100%